Hey guys, hi, hello, hi, hello, hello, hi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome. There's no welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Because there's nobody. Today's video is a video that's literally been in my mind the moment I started watching the show. Like, there was no other option. Usually I make edits of stuff when I really like stuff, but this time it was more like, I need to make a video essay on this. So this is a PowerPoint about my favorite show. Deborah. Deborah. I don't watch a lot of shows, but every time I do watch a show, it becomes my favorite show. And there's a lot of months in this year, so by next month, my favorite show would probably be like, I don't know. This is a kdrama, by the way. I think it came out in 2023. I don't know. I think so. I was on YouTube actually, and an edit came up of the two of them, and I was like, okay, I need to watch this. That is the power of edits. So before we get into the next slide, let me give you my summary of the show, because I could have, I forgot my notes. Okay, so I forgot I had notes. I needed my notes. I was not going to be able to continue the rest of this without my notes. Okay, let me give you a summary of the show. This show, in my opinion, is a show about a lady who is a dating coach, and she's a dating coach who is an acknowledged author as well. And in order for her book to be successful, she needs to get married, and that is the plan. She has a boyfriend who's a conglomerate of like a chicken like restaurant or whatever, and she's like, oh, I need him to marry me so everybody can be like, you know, my advice is useful. Or at least she believes her advice is useful, because she thinks the advice she gives to others is the same thing she would do for herself. You know what I mean? And her plan is to get married, but things don't necessarily go to plan. And speaking of publishing, this guy works in the publishing thing. So I don't know if that's good enough of like an explanation for the beginning, but you get what I mean. So let's move into the characters. So our characters. Whoop whoop. I don't need to go by them one by one, because when I was making the screen, I just needed it to be full. The most important characters are these four right here in this angle, like this. This is the most important people. These are the most important people we're looking at. She doesn't really matter. She doesn't really matter. They don't really matter. Like, she's her sister. She's her best friend. He's her husband. And he's her soon-to-be boyfriend. But we don't really need to think about those people. This is one of our main characters. Well, not one of our main. Technically, she is a main character, but she's like the main character. You know, in shows you have like multiple main characters. She's the main character, and then obviously there's another main character, whatever. This is Deborah. Or also known as Deborah. Deborah says that because she had a radio show. She was on a radio show. Anyway, okay. And my description of Deborah is an icon, a legend, a queen, a fashionista, and a girl boss, final boss. And she, I don't know, maybe multiple people, I don't know, won't agree with this if you watch the K-drama, because actually I went on Letterboxd and I was like putting this like a 4 stars and a like, and then I went to go and see like the review, and people were like 3.7, and I was like, what? 3.7? You weren't rocking with this like I was? Okay. But I didn't read the reviews because I wanted to keep my opinion straight. I want to touch on the fashionista, because multiple of her outfits in the show just spoke to me. Like, obviously, like, like, she's wearing something, I'm wearing something, whatever, it's gonna work. While I was watching the show, there were multiple, like, items she was wearing, and I was low-key like, I've got some of these in my inventory, I don't know, but I had some of them. So I want to show you some of my favorite outfits from her, because I just feel like some of these outfits in this show should have a spotlight, because genuinely they were so good. So this is the first outfit. I love me a dungaree. I have been looking for a dungaree for like literally freaking 5 years, dude, and I have not been able to find one. And the one time I did find one, I found it and I didn't have the money for it. So I asked my siblings, and they're like, no, you can wait until you get like your money or whatever. And I was like, what? lovely dungaree was gone. And I always look at that page, like that thrifting page that I was looking for, and I was like, I hope you guys have. And they've never had one since then. And that was like 2 years ago, and I've never forgotten. This outfit actually, I don't actually know about this outfit. It could have been one of two things. It could have been I liked the outfit, or I was taking a screenshot of the back because I wanted to rebuild it in Sims. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This black dress. This black dress was a moment. Okay? This has a story of its own, and I'll come back to it later on. But this dress, I absolutely loved it. Like, I was low-key like, she's looking good. The hair is slick back. The dress is hugging in the places it's supposed to be hugging. This was a good dress. It's not a good screenshot, and maybe I was just lazy to look for a good screenshot, but I don't know. Anyway, next. Okay, this outfit. Obviously, you can't fully see the whole outfit, but I like this outfit because I have a coat exactly in this pattern. Like, I was analyzing, and I was like, hold on, because I have this. I know this. I own this. And I was like, okay, I like the red moment going on. I like the red in the hair. So I was kind of like, okay. And she's wearing like some black boots. And I have long black boots. They're my favorite boots. Like, I wear them every single time I have the opportunity to wear boots. I wear them. This outfit, you guys don't understand. The moment it came up on screen, I went feral. Like, feral. Okay, hold on. Look at the colors. Look at how beautiful that purple is. And then I don't wear skinny jeans. Bell bottoms I will do because they flare out at the bottom. But skinny jeans, no. I would need to find a top like this, and I don't know where I'd find a top like this. Because guys, fun fact, I don't shop from retail. I thrift only. Every single clothing item I own is probably thrifted. And this, she had black boots on, long black boots, and I was like, okay, that's an outfit. Like, I don't know if I like it as much anymore, but yeah. Oh, I forgot I was still doing character. This is our second main character. Okay, this is Lee Soo-hyuk. This man, like, yes, God! Like, oh my God, he was literally so me. Like, one chance. Like, I only need one chance. Oh my God, I can't even verbalize the words. Like, when I looked at his face, when he smiled, guys, you know a good smile is like kryptonite. When he smiled, I said, is that for me? To be honest, I am not sure whether he's a red flag or a green flag. He had moments where, like, I'll get into it later on, like what I mean by that, but like for the most part he was a green flag, but certain areas I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. You guys decide when we get there. Okay. This is Nojeon. This is Bora's ex-boyfriend. This is Yuri. This is Soyun's ex-girlfriend. Okay. Yeah. My feelings towards her really changed towards the end of the show. Like, from the beginning, like, I need to talk about the episode so I can explain why. Like, now we're talking episode 1 and 2. Okay. Episode 1 and 2, the reason they are on a slide together is because I was like, I feel like they support each other. I mean, every single episode in the show supports one another, but I felt like these 2 episodes, in a sense, just like, I don't know, I feel like they were kind of the same, one and the same, like a continuation of the other. But that's what episodes are. But like, I feel like you guys will get what I mean. But like, anyway, in episode 1, this is where we meet our 2 main characters, Bora and Sohyun. Yo, guys, please, with my pronunciation, don't get on me, because listen, Korean isn't my first language. It isn't my second language. It isn't my third language. In fact, it's not even a language I speak. Okay, I watch a lot of K-dramas. I've been watching K-dramas. If we were to count how many K-dramas I've watched in my life, it's probably like 500. Okay, no, that's crazy. Maybe like 300, I think. I'm getting off track. Episode 1 is where we meet our 2 main characters, Bora and Soyeon. Okay, we introduced Deborah, dating coach, successful relationship. She is just glam. She is, mesmerizing. We introduced to Soyan. He's a bit, how can I say? He's a bit cold, hey? I think cold is the best word. He's a little bit cold. He's a little bit nonchalant. He's the co-owner of a publishing company. And in this episode, Bora's at a ring store, and she is really, really desperate for her boyfriend to propose. And she's like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna try out this ring, and I'm gonna try it out because, like, I'm gonna bring him here, and he's gonna buy me this ring. I want this ring. And he walks in, and she's like looking at the ring, and she all of a sudden turns to him and goes, oh, are you here to get your girlfriend a little ring? Are you here to get her something a little bit, a little bit nice? And he was like, girl, what you on about? And he was like, she's, I don't know. She was saying, and he was like, offended. Oh, actually, he already didn't like her, because his company wanted to publish her book. And as his co-founder over here was explaining to him that they want to work with her, he was like, whatever she's teaching is pure nonsense. Like, I literally don't like it. Like, I don't. So he already walked in. She does not know who he is. And he walks into her with a notion about her, and he's like, I do not like this woman. Like, whatever she says to me, like, it's going to piss me off. So she said something. It pissed him off. He turned to the consultant, and he said, hey, Granny Pop, I want that ring right there. The one on her finger. I said, okay. And she was also like, and the consultant was like, later on, okay? Later on, we're introduced to Yuri, okay? And Yuri had sent in a story on the radio to her, right? And the story was, me and my boyfriend have been together for like years, okay? We've been together for years, and he hasn't defined our relationship. He hasn't really given me a ring, and I don't know, is he a bad boy or blah. She said, he's a bad boy, okay? You better break up with him. He's wasting your time. Go and find somebody who you want to get married to. He was buying her a ring. And guess what happened that evening? She said to him, I think we should stop seeing each other. He was getting a ring. And she had said this. But this was not all that she said. This was not all. Because, actually, in the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe he is selfish. Maybe, I was like, okay, maybe he isn't a bad guy. And when she was saying the speech at the beginning, let me read it for you. Because later on, when you hear me, getting really angry with her, you'll understand why the speech is actually quite what the freak am I saying? Brutal. Let me get into character. Okay, I'm a sad lady. Okay, you're him. He doesn't say a singular word throughout this whole thing, so you need to keep quiet. You can't respond to me. So she says, I want to meet someone to get married to before I get older. Someone who's warm, nice, relaxed, and steady. Sometimes boring. Someone who likes me. Then she goes, what? Did you think you were the only guy in my life? Bro was sitting there with the freaking ring box in his pocket. She's talking about somebody I want to get married to. Did you think you were the only man in my life? And then she says, I know you aren't into me. What did I expect from you? When you love someone, you kneel before them and give them a ring. But that isn't me. He was buying a ring. He wanted you. And you know what? She's a pretty girl. She's stunning. And I was like, you know what? Maybe she is right. Because our first impression of him, it's not very good. He's a bit judged. It's not very good. It's not enjoyable. So when I was there like, girl, shut up. Because he just bought you a freaking ring. He just bought you a freaking ring. And then she's breaking up with him. And she's calling him a bad guy. What is it? Napunyoja? Leave it alone. I don't know. Oh my god. No! And then that was their story. In the same episode, well, technically now we're in episode 2. In the same episode, Miss Bora, who was shopping for a ring, thinks that she's about to get proposed to, because her boyfriend is acting in ways where she's like, oh, let me get on my best outfit because I think he's gonna propose to me. Tell me why at the end of this episode Bora catches her man cheating with a girl like 10 years younger, who he said was his cousin. Tell me why Bora, the dating coach, who said, if your man is cheating, slap him in the face. If your man is cheating, pour a glass of water on him. If your man is cheating, just ignore and block. In that moment, she did not do none of that. In fact, when she was trying to walk away, she fell. She fell! And from that moment on, our two leads were heartbroken. Oh my God. They were broken. They were broken. Not even heartbroken. They were destroyed. They were broken. Bora was in a relationship with that boyfriend of hers for 2 years, I believe. 2 years, 3 years. Actually, she was in a relationship with him for 3 years. He was with her for 4 years. Oh my God. Oh my God. So that's the episode. Both of them are crying. Both of them, you know, they're not coping. So now we're gonna get to the episode that actually made me stand up out of my seat and create a PowerPoint, because I was like, this man cannot be serious. Episode 3. Okay? I said, child, Lord, hold me back from smacking this man, because wait for it. In this episode, this man, this one right here, this one right here, had the girl to go to Bora's best friend's husband, because they were friends, okay, fine, but this is where Bora normally hangs out, and come and talk to him, and his friend is like, bro, I heard what you did, like literally just say sorry and everything will be done. This man proceeds to say this, listen, if we make up this time, I'd have to marry her. I could marry her, but now it's more clear after that happened. With Bora, marriage is unlikely. That isn't even the worst part. Hold on. Let me read the rest. Let me read the rest of what he said, because you guys don't understand how disrespectful. For a whole episode, we had seen Bora in her bed crying. When she walked home, lifeless, no energy in her body, we saw Bora walk home. So for me, sitting here hearing this, I was like, oh my God. I was peed off, you know? I was upset. But then he proceeds to say the following after this: if I were to marry Bora, when I wake up in the morning, Bora will be there, holding a glass of juice made of who knows what. When I go home after work, Bora will be there, driving me to a shower. She can be quite clingy and smoldering. When I'm with her, the air feels so thick. My whole body feels heavy, like being in a formal suit with a necktie tightly wrapped around my neck. That isn't love, is it? How could I possibly marry her? You're probably hearing this and you're thinking, it's probably, that doesn't sound that bad. Bora was outside the door. Bora was outside the door. She was standing right there listening. He was not remorseful. He was not sorry. In fact, this was a joke. Yeah, I think he found this funny. Like, guys, she goes back home and she's sitting in the bed and she said, I can't even come to remember what he said. Did he say I was suffocating? Did he say I was clingy? Did he say I was small? Like, I can't even. And she falls on the bed and she starts crying. Oh. Hey. And the whole episode is just how heartbroken. Like, guys, I cried with Bora. Like, when Bora was losing, I was losing. When she was winning, I was winning. And at this point, she was in the pits of hell. She was within the pits of hell. And guys, that was so painful. Hearing this, he was saying this without an ounce of guilt, without a shred of shame, without nothing. He was just like, oh, she's smothering, she's this, she's that, sounding annoyed. And you guys will understand. You'll understand why I want to like this to this man. This episode was so, in a way I can't even understand. I've never been through a heartbreak. But after watching this episode, you see, there was a time in my life where I used to think, oh, I wish I can go through a heartbreak one day. I wish somebody could break up with me one day, just so I could feel how I feel. I don't want to feel how it feels. I was a psycho. I was crazy because this episode, it broke me. And, actually, in this episode, at the end, her sister calls him because she's like, can you just check on her? Because I think that's all she wants. Just like check on her, make sure she's okay. So this guy comes to check on her and she thinks, oh, okay, maybe he's here to say, I will work on myself, I'll be better, I'll get better, like I will. So they're sitting in a bar and they say nothing. All he says is, Biani, sorry. And then she looks at herself in the mirror. She sees she's no bueno, she doesn't look good, so she stands up and she leaves. Then they're walking and she says to him, why can't you just say you're sorry? And he was like, well, because like I'm not tired. He had just said all of this stuff and he was not even an ounce remorseful. He was not sorry that she had heard him say this. Like, you've been with this girl for 3 years and you're telling me that you didn't love her. He didn't love her. Like, Episode 4. Episode 4 was hard. After this whole argument, after hearing everything, she's upset. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She's met him more than once. She heard what he said with her best friend's husband. She met him again and he wasn't sorry. So she starts drinking. Because how is she supposed to cope with this pain? She starts drinking and she has an event to go to because, business, like the businesses don't care if your heart's broken, they paid you money to be there. So she goes to an event. And at this event, she gets really drunk. Really, really, like, she basically ruins her whole career. She ruins her whole career, guys, because she says this. Been a bastard. F men. And then she falls. People are taking photos. Remember, she's on a stage. People are on the ground floor. She falls. Legs wide open. And people take photos of that. And they post it on the internet and they say, this is y'all's dating coach? This is who y'all listen to? Guys, the net citizens were not forgiving. Like, they were unrelenting. Like, guys, like, genuinely, like, have some compassion. Did you hear what she said? She called men bastards. And she put up the middle finger, like, can you imagine? 1, you're going through a heartbreak. 2, you've basically ruined your whole career. Bro. At that moment, I realized, like, how hard it must be to be, like, an influential, like, public figure. Because I could not. So this whole episode was basically just her going through the cycle of writing an apology letter of saying, guys, I went through a breakup and, like, it was a really hard breakup and I realized that I've been insensitive in the things I'm saying. And nobody felt pretty. Nope. All of them said, look at your dating coach. She went through a heartbreak and look at her trying to get pretty from us. I was like, yo. I've been talking about Bora the most because Bora was the inspiration for this video, not like Isuk. But, later on, we get back to Sohyun, I think is his name. It's Isuk. Bro, what? And Sohyun is reeling, bro. He's also going through it. Like, I can't believe it. My girlfriend just broke up with me. I was about to propose to her. Like, she said, She said no. So he is like to his friend, like, I think she's done. Like, I think we can still get back together. I feel like she's sending me messages like, And then his friend was like, look at the picture. She doesn't have 7 pictures, because it was like a picture of her on a chair and she was going like something like this, and then she had like 2 extra fingers like that. So he was like, no way, that can't be possible, that must have been a friend, that couldn't have been. So he goes to her flat, and guess what, this time managing woman had a new boyfriend. It had been maybe a week since they've broken up, and she has a new man. Hey, one thing about me, I don't like cheaters. I don't like cheating cheaters. I don't like cheating liars. I don't like time managers, okay? From this moment, I was like, okay, like, I don't like her, but I don't not like her. I feel neutral about her now. Like, I don't feel nothing about her. Now we move to episode 5. Episode 5? Episode 5 was painful, okay? Episode 5 was it was painful, it was hard, it was tough, it was a really difficult watch. In episode 5, you know, everybody kind of needs to get on with life now, right? Sohyun, he's just found out the love of his life, or at least who he thought was the love of his life, was two-timing him. Like, maybe not two-timing, but he thought that she had moved on quick, okay? And he has to get on with work. You know, he owns a company. He co-owns a company. He can't just leave it. So, obviously, his company still wants to get Deborah on board, even though she had that scandal where she kind of messed up. The company was like, I feel like we can make something out of this, though. A woman who's been broken up with, a woman who can do like this and like this. So, Bora and Sohyun meet. They have a meeting at a cafe and they're sitting. And she was like talking, and she was just kind of like, yeah, you know, I feel like a loser. I talk about people dating, and I realized how immature and how insensitive I was. And one problem that I do have with the way Bora looks at relationships is well, in the past, I don't think she looks at them like that anymore, but she looks at relationships like they are a competition. Like, you either win or you lose. I don't think that. I don't, like, what do you mean, like, if you get dumped, you're the loser, and if somebody's dumping, they're the winner? I don't know if that's proper to say. Is it? Oh, I can see why people use walking sticks to my back. And she sees him, and bruh, a tear runs down like so. Zoom! Down her eye, and she's like, oh no! So now she's obviously with a man, so she was like, act like you're smiling. Act like you're having a good time. Act like I said a joke. Okay, let's go. Is he looking? Is he looking? Okay, is he still looking? Okay. And then she's like, okay, let's leave. Put your arm around me. Okay. And then they left the shop. And then after that, she was like, okay. I don't know why she wanted to do that. Maybe because he cheated on her. Sohyun walks her home. She's like, okay, good night. No, I don't plan on writing the book. I really don't want to. Like, I don't think I can write about love anymore, because look at me. You know, I'm not fit for that. I'm not qualified for that. So he was like, okay, thank you so much. Bye. And she was like, bye. And obviously now she's seen her ex again, and you know, she shed that one tear, so she starts drinking again. And then this happens. She's crying. She goes to his house and she says to him, I can't. How am I supposed to live? She's crying. She's screaming. She's like, why did you do this to me? Why did you? And he goes, it's hard for me too. Well, you have another girl at home. Look at this ugly ass stuff. Like, whatever that is. And she's crying. She's genuinely begging, like, I can forgive you. We can get over it. We can fix this. Like, we can do anything. I can fix this. Like, this is just so hard for me. And he's like, it's hard for me too. But like, I'm done. And I get it. Boom. She slaps him. He goes, ah. And then he walks. He turns around. And he leaves her right there, crying on the street, in the cold, in the winter. She's wearing slippers. He leaves her there crying. She had walked, I assume, I'm adding that for drama. She had walked all the way from her house in Gangnam to Jeju. And Sohyun, for some reason, ending up there and comforting her. And that was the end of this episode. This was my hard for him. In fact, I think he actually liked that she was doing all of this. You know what I mean? He liked that she was prim and proper. And I think this was not hard for him at all. Because This man has not shown an ounce of remorse at all. Like, at all. This was a hard watch because, I was rooting for her. I really thought, because in the episode she was walking around and she was smelling fresh air and she could go outside and, she was feeling better. But then by the end of the episode, this has happened and I was like, no. We take one step forward and 5 steps back. So this was a really hard watch. It was a really hard watch because I had felt like I was going through the breakup too. Episode 6 is awesome because now Bora is like, okay, I've embarrassed myself. I know he doesn't want me. And that is totally okay. So what can I do? I'm going to shape up my life. Throw out all the things he gave me. Throw out all the things I don't need. Throw out anything I used to wear to impress him. Clean up the house and move. In this episode, this is the catalyst of how we get Soyeon and Bora together. Or like make it make sense that they actually spend a lot of time together from now on. She goes out looking for a new flat because she doesn't like the energy this flat has now. So she looks for a new flat. She finds a flat and her sister gets a message from her saying, hey, can you send me the money for the deposit, like 40 million won? I need that right now. So she sends the money. And then she comes back home and she's like, oh, yeah, I found a flat today, but yeah, I signed the lease immediately and they want the money by like Monday. Her sister's like, what? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, then who did I send 40 million to? They were scammed. Voice phishing, voice phishing. And Bora's like, oh man. So they go to the police station and the police say the same thing they say in every single kdrama. By now the money's probably being deposited into account. They probably took it out. Like, there's no way we can help you, but if we catch them and they have the money, we can give it back. But that was episode 6. Everybody's doing better. At this point I don't think Soyeon's doing better because he isn't necessarily doing anything. Like, he's not necessarily talking about his feelings. Yeah, in like episode 5 he was, but like I don't think he's fully processed that he's been broken up with. He just keeps suppressing it, like he doesn't talk about it much. He just keeps it down. If he wants to cry, he doesn't really cry. He goes to work, acts like everything's okay. Yeah, at that point I think that's as far as he is by like episode 6, which is kind of sad. But now on to episode 7. Episode 7, there's nothing about episode 7, nothing interesting about episode 7. Episode 7 is just filler. Nothing, just filler. I can't even tell you what it was about. I don't know. Anyway, well, the most important thing that happens in episode 7 is Deborah now needs money because she needs to move to a new flat. So instead she goes to Soyeon's publishing and she's like, hey, can I please get a deal? I would like a deal. Thanks. And she signs a deal with the publishing company and, they start working together, and that's how Soyeon and Deborah become co-workers. So episode 8 is my jam. This is my episode because now we actually get Deborah and Soyeon together. This is Deborah. I just kind of cropped her out. Well, I don't even think she was in. No, she was probably in the shots, and I just didn't screenshot properly. But in this episode, this is the beginning of the flirting between the two of them because he was like, how do you use your dating tactics to seduce somebody? And then she seduces him. He's bewitched. He's like, what? No, let's keep the dreadheads. No, you know what I mean? She's like, and suddenly I whisper, I flick my hair this way. I show you my collarbone. And you've fallen for me. And he was like, and then he went home and he couldn't sleep. So anyway, that's kind of a side plot. I just thought that was pretty fun. And then in this episode, in this frame right here, they're talking about how Deborah would like to have a second breakup. In the sense, she means she would like to redo her breakup. She didn't like how it ended. She didn't like how embarrassed she was during that breakup. She didn't like the fact that her ex kind of, saw her so pitifully. So she was like, I need an ending like the La La Land ending, where she looks at him like so, in her amazing black dress, and she's like, with her eyes, basically her eyes saying, I've moved on, I'm doing better, I'm way better. So in this episode, they go and they look for a dress for her. I will show you the dresses, but I would like to talk about the dresses. So this episode is, the whole point of it is for her to get her leg back, you know. Well, at this point, the whole point is she wants to just, you know, even the playing field. You know, there's no up and down. Him not thinking, she wants me still. She wants me. She wants to clearly set it out. Like, I don't want you anymore. Like, I'm sorry that we ended like that, but I do think that we don't belong together, and that is how I feel. So they go looking for dresses. This is the get together. I was like slay queen, slay, because she was like, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you during the last breakup. Like, I genuinely didn't mean for it to be like that. Like, you know, I was going through it, but after thinking about it and after going through the breakup, I do agree that we probably weren't good for each other, and I want you to just rest easily and not worry about me coming after you or anything like that. And then that's what she said to him. And then Ashley's walking away because, you know, her partner in crime's always there. As they're walking away, her ex has the audacity to look out the window and be like, she's with a man? What? A man helped her get over it? No, I can't let that happen. I don't want that. And then that's when he starts becoming annoying again. Ugh. Still on episode 8, we need to talk about the dresses. Okay, so this, it was giving, how can I describe this without being offensive? This dress, I don't know what was up with these dresses. Like, look at that, it's so like boxy, and it's not really sitting on her properly. I don't know, I don't like this. Then there was this one, it was just kind of plain, just kind of flared out. It was okay, it was fine. And then we have like the final dress that she did pick. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I just feel like, look, like the shoulders are giving me issues. Like, maybe I just have too broad shoulders, I don't know, but something about it was just not sitting right with me, you know. I didn't like it. Now forget the dresses, because I omitted this information on purpose. I left this out on purpose, but this is what we were here for. Episode 8. They go to a norebang, which is karaoke, coin karaoke, and they sat and they're singing, they're like sha-la-la-la-la, celebrating, they're like, whoa, we moved on from our ex, well done for moving on all your ex, we are so proud of you from your ex, woo, 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 woo. You know, they're singing karaoke, the normal stuff. And then at the end, they're like, she's like, thank you so much for bringing me here, like, I really do appreciate it, like, I needed that, I so needed that. Then it gets quiet. It gets quiet, and then as you can see, they're avoiding eye contact with one another, and you know, it gets quiet, they look at each other, and they're like, no, I think we gotta go now. So let me reenact. She reaches for the door. Okay, she's reaching, and then as she reaches for the door, she stops like so. And then when she stops, he reaches up on her shoulder. He reaches up and she turns around because she's like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And then guys, you don't understand how good this kiss was. And her eyes are closed. They kissed, guys. They kissed. And then when they kissed, it was so like juicy. You see, she let go of the door. And then look at the hand placement. The hands, you know, I'm a hand placement girly. Like, when there's situations, like couples and stuff, I'm always like, oh, look at Ray's hands. Oh my God, I love that. Call me an enemy of my progress. Call me an enemy of my own progress. Because who takes a screenshot like this? Can you imagine? Now, but if we were to look at those hands. Oh my God. Guys, this kiss was giving me flashbacks to when I saw this one edit of It's a Good Day to Be a Dog with Chaeyoung Woo, and I was like, it was so good. We waited 8 episodes and we got it. Guys, I was like, am I supposed to be here? And I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. In fact, I'm supposed to be there too. Oh, this was such a good episode. This was such a good, satisfying episode, because so far everything had been embarrassing. It had been turmoil, it had been stress, everything had just not been what I wanted it to be. And finally getting this was so worth the pain we had gone through. Ah, I loved it. I loved it. Episode 9. Fella. In episode 9, they kind of had an argument that I don't really know what the argument was about. I think she had said something like, well, I don't know. And then after that, he was like, you always say stuff and you don't apologize. And then after that, she was like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Whatever they said. By the end of the episode, or like the beginning of episode 10, they had made up. So it was just kind of like, okay, whatever. Episode 10. Episode. Let me say it again. Listen to me. Episode 10. Read this with me. Oh my word, this gosh dang woman. Ugh. You'll get why I said that just now. So, episode 10, they've made up. And, you know, after the kiss or whatever, they're kind of like, oh, don't get too close to my mouth now. That's a little bit dangerous. We're supposed to be... What are we supposed to be? They look at each other and they're like, what are we, dude? Like, we kissed. We're saying it was a mistake. And they decide, let's call ourselves Mulder and Scully. Was that what it was? I don't know. Mulder and Scully. They were like Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winston. That's what they define themselves. So basically, they're friends. Okay, friends who kiss sometimes. At least from what we know, they only kissed once, but I don't think so. I think there were moments off screen, probably. Like in my imagination, they would probably have met a few more times and they were like, you know? So, then, okay, this is why you're gonna realize I don't like this auntie. This is why you realize I don't like this auntie. So, in episode 10, there's the return of Yuri. She used to work, while she sent her story to the radio, she used to work at the radio station as well with Deborah. So, Yuri, this time manager, is sat with Deborah and she gives Deborah a wedding invitation, right? And she says to Deborah, let me read it so you guys can understand how crazy this woman is. She says this, okay? She says, it needs to feel like I'm not here. You guys have to imagine like I'm you know, like my mind is somewhere else as I'm speaking to you. I wish he would collapse in my arms. I wish while I'm happy living my life, he would stay there forever, gradually getting blind while waiting for me forever. She says, I wish when I give it to him, he cries very hard. At this point, we love Sohyun. I don't know, maybe I haven't emphasized enough how much of a lovely character he is at this point. Because if I were to tell you, we get to know him a bit more. And what we learn about him is Sohyun has a bit of problems communicating, okay? He expresses love in different ways. It's like, you know, when you see the memes, oh, my mom hit me and then she brought me a food of plate to basically say she loves me, you know? Like when you see that kind of stuff, oh, my mom shouted at me and then she's like, oh, son, here's some food. To be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you like that. He's basically that type of person. He's very much like indirectly shows his love through like gifts or like notes or, you know, his actions. He is very helpful with Deborah. Like, he's very helpful at helping her get over her ex. He's very much a yes man. He's just like, oh, you wanna go? I don't know, but yeah, I'll come. Oh, you wanna go and do this to your ex? I don't know, but I'll come. You know, he's kind of like that, and he's just so lovely. He's like so nice, and he's handsome. Maybe I shouldn't have added that, because that makes me sound unfair. But he is handsome. We can't like get over that. So at this point, when she says this, I'm like, hi boo. Is this woman okay? Is she fine? Why is she saying that? Why is she saying that? And Deborah's even like, okay, you're one scary lady. And actually, at this point, she starts to realize that maybe Deborah and Sohyun have something going on, or like, you know, he's moving on. She starts to realize that. Remember that, okay? So then, this picture right here is her giving the note to Soyeon. Oh, look at his face. Oh, guys, he didn't even blink. In fact, when he blinked, there was a line of tears inside here. This is why I say I feel like he's busy helping Bora get over her, you know, whole breakup, but he's not working through his own feelings. He has not processed the fact that he is not over this breakup. He saw her with another man, right? But he didn't think much of it. It was just kind of like, okay, like, okay, she was with another man, maybe she just moved on quickly. So for her to already be getting married, he's like, huh? And in this meeting, he sat her and she's like, I just need you to answer one question. Did you love me? And he just, like this, he just sits there quietly with the tears in his eyes. Do I look like I'm crying? Maybe not. Okay. And she's like, did you love me? And he's just, because what she said was she was not giving him the invitation genuinely. Then she says to him, you know what? Actually, come to my wedding. I want you at my wedding. She was like, I want you there so you can cry since you take me for a fool. Or maybe she's just evil. I don't think it was because he took her for a fool. He just couldn't answer it, you know? Imagine somebody breaks up with you and then a month later they're giving you a wedding invitation. Huh? What? What do you mean? Okay, whatever. Deborah realizes that his ex is Yuri because she sees the invitation and she's like, oh, you got one too? And he was like, yeah, that was my ex. And she's like, oh. She's like, oh. And she said all of that, like she wants you to stay there and just wait for her forever. Oh, okay. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. So she was like, whoa, that's your ex? Oh, okay. Anyway, I don't know why I was getting so into that. Anyway, they move on from the scene. Deborah actually has a wedding that she needs to attend, right? And in this wedding, the person whose wedding it was didn't want Deborah to attend because she was like, your ex is coming and your ex has a bit more credibility than you, so like maybe don't come. But when she said this, she thought she was talking to Deborah's best friend. But Yu Jung had put the phone on speakerphone, okay? And Bora was like, hi, don't worry, I'll be at your wedding. And she was like, no, you don't need it. No, I'll be at your wedding. No, you don't. No, I will be at your wedding. So now that her ex is at the wedding, and the ex has obviously been seeing her with a mysterious figure multiple times, who's handsome, tall, great smile, grateful. Sorry. With a mysterious figure, she's like, you need to come with me. Because he knows you, and he's seen me with you. So you need to come with me. So he's like, okay, fine. You can use me as your bait, your catfish, whatever you want to do. Like, yeah, use me. So this is where I say I don't know if this man's a red flag or a green flag or a beige flag or an orange flag. I don't know. I don't know what he is. But they are on the way to the wedding, and this woman gives him a call. She gives him a call, and she says, I miss you. I'm outside of your building right now. I miss you. Please come to me right now. Like, I would like to see you. Please come. Like, blah, 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 blah. I was wedding dress shopping and like, I just realized that like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Like, please come. Eh? Huh? You are forgetting that you gave him this thing. You gave him this thing. Are you forgetting? And you're calling him now you're wedding dress shopping and you have the audacity to call him on his weekend when he's supposed to be going with Deborah. She probably didn't know that. Oh, maybe she did. I don't know. She's a crazy woman. She probably did. And you're calling him when he's supposed to be going to a wedding with her, telling him some nonsense about, I miss you. Now this was upsetting. This next part was upsetting. Because what actually happens is This car right here, you see? This is his car. Deborah's in the seat. She's in that seat. They are driving. He gets this call. He stops. Tells her to get out. Ha. 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 He tells her to get out of the car. Tells her to get out. He leaves her on the passenger. And she's like, what? Huh? Huh? So she's like here, and the car's all the way by the robot. It's like, he told her get out. She looked at him like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, I'm serious. She's like, what? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I need to go. Like, and she's like, but you know what she's doing? And he's like, I need to go. And then she's on the side of the road. He's all the way by the robot. And Bora's actually like, no, he's helped me so much, so let me help him. So then she runs to the car and she's like, what are you doing? Like, she knows what she's doing. She's trying to like mess with your mind. Like, please don't, like, not like please don't go, but she's like, don't fall for it. Like, she's literally like just trying to play with you. And then he gets snappy, he gets rude, and he says to her, coming from the one who's trying to win back her ex by a book, what do you mean by that? We kissed and you think I'm still trying to go after my ex? So he gets snappy. She's like, okay, fine, you can go then. You can go. So then she says, you can't come back if you go there now. Like, you know, like, if you leave me here, then I won't be here by the time you come back or whatever. You know, she's saying this to herself. You know, bro's already turned the corner. Honestly, that scene was kind of the scene where I was kind of like, okay, this is a bit snappy, this is a bit rude. I don't appreciate your attitude, and I would like you, Sohyun, to be a little bit nicer, please and thank you. Like, even if it's your ex, like, you telling me it's none of my business while you're all up in my business? Are we not friends? Are we not Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio? What you mean by that? So I was just kind of like, I don't appreciate that attitude. Like, do better next time, okay? And that was episode 10. So now we move to episode 11. Oh, it was annoying. It was annoying. There's a lot of annoyingness. There's a lot of annoyingness this episode, like a lot. So beginning of episode 10, obviously he's left Bora. And now the drama queen is drama. She's sitting there drinking alcohol. And he comes and he's like, stop drinking. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on, you're about to get married. Why are you calling your ex? Like, come on. And she goes, did you regret it? Did I regret what? You know? She's like, did you regret it? Did you regret being in a relationship with me? Do you regret us breaking up? I really regret that day. I regret that day. And he sits there like he always is, quiet, you know, like this. This is his quiet face. This is his, like, when you ask him something and he doesn't want to answer, this is the face. This one right here. And he sits there. And he's like, you know what? I need to nip this in the bud right now. Like, you're so full of it. You're so full of it. So he goes, you know what? I do regret it. And she goes, and he says, I regret being here right now. He goes, I regret being here right now. And I was like, okay, wait, no. I was like, okay, wait, no, maybe it's not like, maybe, yeah, he had to do this. He had to do this because like she would have continued with this nonsense. Like, even if she was married, I promise you, she probably would have continued. So she goes, did that girl Bora tell you? I know that you guys have seen each other. I know you guys are together. Did she tell you that I two-timed you? Did she tell you that I cheated on you? And he's like, no. You know what? Like, you know, I can tell you that I did love you. You know, I did love you, but like, on the day that you broke up with me, I was going to propose. And she was like, and he was like, I could have pulled out the ring at any point, but I didn't have the strength to. And he's like, you're getting married. I'm moving on. Let's stop this now. And her phone's on the table, shim, 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 ringing like that, like shim, shim, shim. Her husband's like ringing. And then at that moment, her husband finally walks in, because I think she picked up the phone or something. And he's like, And then, as the green flag he is, he doesn't try and ruin her. He just says, hey, yeah, I'm a friend from college, and she was like, she was just a little bit stressed or something, so she called me over. And then we put an end to Yuri. Finally. This is the last of her we will see. Do you guys understand why my energy switched like this to this by the end? Like at the beginning, maybe I could have been a bit more neutral, but I already didn't like her. So I'd come in with watching the whole season. So I was already just kind of like, okay, no, nope. I can't fake it. I can't fake that I like her, okay? And that was the end of that. But it gets annoying again because you remember how I told you a few episodes ago that Bora's ex, after seeing Bora leave with the man after their second breakup, he was like, I can't let her go. I cannot let her go. Like, she is literally seeing her, like, no way. She was for me, definitely, 100%. Like, I made a mistake. Like, we were not supposed to. So he starts getting annoying. Okay, so that is the end of Yuri. But once this, like, dynamic, this scene ends or whatever, he actually makes it to the wedding. That wedding was a mess. But whatever was waiting for, it's not necessarily a wedding, but he actually makes it to the wedding. And Bora's ex is arriving, and he sees Bora, and he's like, and Bora walks like this. And she literally goes around him. She goes around him because guess who arrived? Oh my god, do you guys know who arrived? I saw it! And he was like, I've sorted it out. And she was like, yeah. And then he says the most sweetest thing ever. They're like, how did you two meet? And he was like, well, actually, the first time I met her was a few years ago at a friend's wedding. She was wearing this black dress and she was moving in a slow motion. She was moving in slow motion, and she had the most beautiful face I'd ever seen before. And a few years later we started working. A few years later, being now, we started working on a book together, and that's how we met. And I was like, huh? How do you cook that up? I was like, do you love her? How'd you cook that up? Because I thought the black dress story, he was just taking aspects from the black dress that they picked out together, and then, just mixing in one together. And, he was so cute. And all Bora's ex could do was this. Who is that guy? Oh, okay, whatever. And then at the end, when Bora and Soyeon are leaving, her ex comes up to him and he's like, nice to meet you. My name is Juan. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And he's like, my name is Soyeon. And then they shake hands, and then they try and do that, that war combat thing, which is like, and they start like squeezing hands together. And then after that, Soyeon won anyway. And then from then on, Bora's ex starts getting annoying. He starts saying, you're already dating someone? You must like him very much. And then he starts messaging her, all of this stuff, and he starts getting so annoying. And it gets so annoying, and I'm just kind of like, can you, put the brakes on it? Like, you broke up with her, you cheated on her, you're a piece of trash. Enough. I don't understand why she didn't just block him. I'm very much pro block. Like that. If you break up with somebody, they do you dirty, block. You don't deserve aspects of my life anymore. But I guess maybe it's not that hard, so that happens. And that was a bit of an annoying end to the episode, but well, it happens, I guess. And that was episode 11. Episode 12 is a pretty feel good episode, okay? The girls are flirting! By the girls, I mean Bora and Soyeon, okay? They are flirting, and I love it so much, because they're like, they're still trying to do this friends thing or whatever, but Bora's asking questions like, if we go out together, who would dump who first? Soyeon says, that's pointless, because I'm quite a catch, oh my god, and then they're flirting, and it was like, okay, whatever, it was kind of cute. And that was kind of episode 12. Just like the flirting, you know, the fun stuff, the nice stuff. Flirting, enjoying flirting. Just the nice stuff. I was about to say that's all, but it's actually not that's all. Because in this episode, after this, he actually he was like, do you want to come over to my place? And Bora was like, yeah, sure. And then she was like, wait. And he was like, wait. And then he was like, you know what, I'm moving actually, so you can't come over. And then she's like, yeah, I think that's actually pretty good, because we all know what that suggests. Don't we? Okay? Yeah. So then Bora goes home after this, and she's like, oh. So she goes through, she's thinking back to the story that he made up at the wedding thing, and she's like, that story was too good. And he keeps saying that this actually did happen. Like, he keeps saying that he did see me in a black dress, he did think I was fine as heck in that black dress, and I don't know, I have a wedding folder, so I might as well check. And she checks, and guess what? He was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. And this was the black dress. And I mean, seriously, I'm an enemy of my own wins. Look at the screenshot. Anyway, look how it's hugging. Oh my god, look at the butt. Look at the shoulders. Like, it just looks good. Like, oh my goodness, this would have been the black dress. You know what I mean? The black dress if she was going to see her ex. Like, low-key, like, yeah, we're at a noodles restaurant, but like, low-key, like, I want to show you that I'm good, and I want to show you what I'm missing out on. And he saw her, and this is so good. He was telling the truth. And she looks through the folders, and she was like, oh my god, he's being honest. He was being honest. And then she was like, oh my god, so cute. So then, this was the end of episode 12. Episode 13, Bora is back. Deborah is back. Deborah says is back. And she is no longer a dating coach. She is a, what's the word? Breakup expert. A breakup connoisseur, if we must say. That is what she identifies as now. And with Deborah back, her annoying ex is too. He's back, and way to ruin this amazing moment, because people are now calling in, because obviously she's now a breakup icon. She classifies as a breakup icon, that's what she said. So she's now a breakup icon, and they get a caller who calls in, and he's back. This annoying man is back, and he says, so me and my girlfriend broke up recently. And Deborah said, and everybody in the studio was like, girl, are you okay? Are you good? And she was like, this man's voice inflicts a flight or fight response out of this woman. Like, it's that bad. That's how bad he messed her up. And he's like, me and my girlfriend broke up recently, but I do want to tell her my feelings, and you know, I'd like to see her, and I'd like to get back together. And she's like, don't cut. And then she realizes, oh, nobody's supposed to know who I'm talking about. So she's like, don't do that. And he's like, no, I need to tell her. So then, as soon as the broadcast is over, he comes, and I'm gonna call it kidnapping, because he basically did. Like, she froze with the flowers, because she had flowers in her hands, and she thought it was from Soyeon. It was from him. And he's like, I'm glad you like the flowers. And she was like, me personally, I would have taken those flowers and just boom, like so, on his face, just aimed right up. Those flowers, goddamn, with all the stuff he did to her. And then he takes her to a restaurant, and guys, guess what he said? I want you to give me a chance. Come again? Huh? Did I say that correct? Did I read that correctly? I want you to give me a chance. The gal, why is he so gordacious? Okay, where does he get the godacity? Like, where do you muster up such? I need this confidence, like, simply because what? You cheated on me. You said I suffocate you. You said I was selfish. You said you hated me, and now you have the audacity to tell me I want you back. In fact, not even I want you back. I want you to take me back. you don't get out of my face right now. If you don't get out of my face right now. And yes, I chose this photo because he looks like a fool. And that is what he is, a fool. Oh my god. And after this, he's back and he's like, I want you to take me back. Like, I don't think we can be friends. Like, I love you. Like, I just don't think that can happen. And Deborah's like, oh, dude, I'm being, and he's like, don't answer me now. Go home, don't answer me now. The next day, Deborah is like, okay, whatever. Whatever, let's just move on. So her and Sayon meet at her friend's cafe, you know, the cafe where he said all those mean stuff about her and she heard it. They meet up there. And they're sitting and they're happy. And he's like, oh, I'm about to give her the gift and flowers I bought for her. Guess who walks in? This stupido. This idiot. This fool. This buffoon. He walks in to the store. He walks in. Oh, hey, I didn't know you'd be here. You know she's here every day. You know. And he has the audacity to sit next to Deborah, staring in Soyeon's face and saying, oh my god, did you know we got back together? Hey? Okay, maybe, no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said something like, oh, do you know we're friends now? Something like that. And he's how can I even describe this? How can I describe his face? Because he was so like full of it. Like, you know when you say somebody has a punchable face? He had a really punchable face at the moment he was saying that. So he says to Deborah, like, quickly, like, since we're friends, like, I'd like to talk to your man quickly. Like, can we go outside quickly? And they go outside. Let me be honest, I skipped. Is that bad on me as a presenter? Yeah, that was pretty bad, but I did skip. I had to, guys. Like, I literally did not want to see Soyeon getting angry because I knew the moment that he went outside with this man, he was going to get upset. So I was like, no. I can choose what I subject myself to, and I don't want to subject myself to this, so I just skipped through. Next thing I know, once I skip through it, Soyeon is walking back into the cafe, and he is upset. He is upset, and he's very much saying, you and I, as in him and Deborah, we're just business partners. There is nothing, as in an ex, romantic going on here. Like, we are business partners, and on the behalf of the company, with the flowers that he personally bought for her, on the behalf of the company, here are some flowers. Congratulations on your debut. Our publishing company hopes to continue working with you. Ha. Guys, when I tell you I wanted to gear up like so, you see, I wanted to gear up like so. See, I play cricket, so I can't bat too well, but you know, I can aim a little bit. So I wanted to imagine that his head was a ball and I'd smack his head, because when this was happening, he was sitting at the counter. He had left the table now. He was sitting at the counter and he was doing a little, you know what I mean? And I was like, when I catch you, when I see you outside. So then Soyeon leaves and Deborah's like, she didn't get a chance to talk. She goes up to him and she's like, what did you say? And he was like, well, I just told him the truth though. Like, I told him that me and you were like, I'm assuming, because when she asked what he said, he had said, like, I just told him what we had talked about, that me and you might get back together. And Deborah was like, what? She was like, what? So then she's like, you know what? You told me to save my answer for later on. Let me tell you right now, I'm rejecting you. I do not want you. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't want anything to do with you. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. And she walks out, trying to catch up to Soyeon. And this buffoon follows her outside. He follows her outside and he screams, I swallowed my pride and I'm making an effort. And Bora turns back to him and she says, but why now? Huh? Why now? Now that it's over, you feel sad and you feel jealous because you think I'm gonna see somebody else? She says, you said you hated me. You said you were sick and tired of me. So why? And then he has the audacity to say, you and somebody else is driving me crazy. And look at her face. She cannot believe it. she's also like, where did you get the audacity, the audacity? Where did you get that? Where did you muster up the courage to think that you had the right to think you were capable of saying all of this? Because even I was there like, eh? 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 I was like, help me right now, because I was praying. I was like, let me calm down before I start screaming profanities, because I don't swear, but I was this close with how much he had annoyed me. So then she leaves. But this is not the end of episode 13, because this happens. This conversation happens, okay? Now, obviously, Soyeon is misunderstanding Bora. Bora is upset that he's misunderstanding her. So then they have a meeting, because now he feels, we are business partners because you're gonna get back with your ex. Now I know you're gonna get back with your ex. So you and I don't have the right to go out together. We don't have the right to go to nice cafes and sit together and talk and laugh and flirt like we used to, because we're only friends, flirt like friends do. We don't have the right to do that anymore. So now we're gonna work in our office company. And Bora walks in and she's like, let me ask you something. You were feeding me out to see if I'd say yes. Basically what she means is, you kissed me, you romanced me, you courted me, you I don't know what another word for like flirting is, but you did all of that because you were playing with me. You were toying with me because you wanted to see if I would fall for it, because clearly you think you didn't like me. You've been saying you didn't like me because, remember at the beginning he really didn't like her because of what she had said. He didn't believe in what she was saying. So he says, I didn't feel you out. Like, that was not, like I didn't do that. So then Bora says, if not, what was it then? You guys know this face? I know this face. You know this face? What do you think he said? Did he A, say, I like you? B, I was not feeling you out, like genuinely, like I really like you. This is a misunderstanding. Or C, not say anything. If you said C, you were correct. You didn't say anything. She walks up and she's like, you know what, F you. I'm done with this. So outside of the door, all of his co-workers are standing outside and everybody's like, hey, you kissed that, you kissed the talent? You kissed the talent? What? And she said, guys, I'm done with the book. I don't want to do the book. I'm tired. I don't want to do the book. We're done. I tell me how much you pay. I don't want to deal with you anymore. I'm done. I don't want to work with a manager who is this. And he says this. I don't want to work with an artist who's flip-flopping and wants to get back with her ex. I don't want to. And then they say that hurtful stuff to one another. And then that's the closing of the episode. All this makes me think is like, what's a K-drama without any misunderstanding? Like, they had a fight in episode 9 and, the misunderstanding, but this didn't have to happen because, like, guys, we are close to the end. Like, this didn't have to happen. They could have just been happy. He could have been resoluted himself and said, that's not who Deborah is. She would never do anything like that. I know her. I've been talking to her. We're friends. But instead, they just misunderstand each other. Maybe that's what having a crush is. That sounds exhausting. Kids don't have crushes. It's the last episode. I know. Everybody's sighing. It's the last episode. Yeah. They've had their misunderstanding. They're not talking. Everybody's like, guys, come on. And Soyeon and his boss, that one guy from the beginning, if you can remember, like in the picture, that one guy. He's like, bro, you kissed the talent? Like, what? Like, do you like what? Like, why'd you do any of it? Like, what? And then after that, Soyeon's like, I did, I know it was dumb, but like, please stop talking about her because I miss her, huh? He's like, his friend is like, what? He's like, stop pouring me more drinks because I miss her. Please, don't do that because like I want her, like I miss her. The more you talk about her, the more I miss her. Please. And then his boss is like, oh, so you like her. Why didn't you say anything then? And he was like, well, I didn't say anything because I thought she was gonna get back with her ex, and she's been saying since the beginning that's the ending she wanted for her storybook. So like I was just kind of like, oh, I don't want, like, I just don't want to ruin that, because I feel like I'm gonna be the bad guy, you know, in a story where the two good people are supposed to end up together. I'm gonna be the bad guy, so you know, I don't want, and I just don't want it. And then he drinks alcohol, and then he drinks a whole bunch of alcohol, and he ends up drunk. He ends up really drunk, and his boss is like, you know what, you get really annoying when you like women, or when women break up with you, or when you like somebody. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stage something. I'm going to make Bora come and pick you up. So then he calls Bora on Soyeon's phone, and he leaves it there, and he leaves. And then Bora comes, and she's like, why'd you drink so much? Like, why'd you have so much alcohol? He's not talking. They get in a taxi. I didn't include it. I don't know why I didn't include a screenshot of it. But they get in the taxi. Soyeon is like, I missed you. And she was like, what? He was like, give me a hug. And she was like, what? And then he was like, don't get back together with him. And she was like, okay. Well, she didn't say okay, but she was just like, okay, come get your hug, And then after that, you know, they hugged. And then when she dropped him off, she realized this man lives in a completely different direction as me, because he's been lying that he lives in the same direction as her, like to walk her home and stuff. But this is why I like him, you know. He went through all that effort just to spend time with her. Like, what? Like, green flag? That's what I mean. He shows he's like in other ways, you know. And then she like puts him down, and then she sees a note that was supposed to be in the flowers that he said were from the company, with a little like necklace, and she was like, he actually likes me. And then she leaves, and he wakes up the next day, and he doesn't really remember what happened, but he does know he embarrassed himself. So he just kind of ignores Bora for the next few days. And then once he does that, no way. You know, I forgot the country I live in. It's load shedding, so we don't have electricity. So I can't project on this anymore. So after Bora sees like all of that stuff, Bora is like, hey, I actually wanna like deal with this now. I wanna confess to you. I wanna be your girl to Soyeon. So she goes, after she dropped him off at the building, obviously this is when that happened, she's like, I don't know how you feel about me, I don't know what you want to feel about me, but I like you. And that's simple. End of the day, end of story. I like you. And Soyeon's like, she's like, what do you think he said? What do you think he said anything? Because he didn't. And she said, okay, fine, I got the ending to my story. So she gets up and she leaves, and he's there like, and then a few days later, she finally sends in the draft for her book, because, you know, now they've made up. After she saw the letter, she was like, okay, maybe I did overreact a little bit, guys, I do want to continue working with you. So she sends in the ending, and Soyeon reads the whole book in one day, and then he's like, oh my god, that's my girl, I love you, like, oh my god, that's me, that's so me. And then by the time he realizes this, we see Bora with her ex. Basically, Bora is like, okay, I need to go and finish stuff off with my ex now, because like, I'm so tired of this now. So she goes and meets him, and as they're having dinner, guess what this man can talk about? He can only talk about chicken, because his family owns a chicken joint, like a chicken conglomerate or something. All he can talk about is chicken. And he's like, Bora, chicken. And she's like, let's just listen, because it's the last time I have to do it. So as she's about to say, like, okay, now listen, bro pulls out a freaking ring box. He pulls out a ring box, and he's like, I was thinking of all the ways I could have reassured you, and this one was the only way. Yum! And he opens the box, and she's like, no. She's like, actually. And then before she can answer, guess who walks in? Guess who walks in? Just guess. Did you guess Soyeon? You're wrong. Okay. Because who walks in is the girl from episode 2 who was his cousin, who he cheated on Bora with. And she said, oh, so this is what you're up to then. Then Bora says, she just gets up, she doesn't say anything. Then as she's walking away, the girl starts shouting at him, and then the girl turns around and starts shouting at Bora, and Bora's like, you're directing your energy at the wrong person. And then she turns it this way. Shout at him. So then the girl starts shouting, and then she turns around. And then as she turns her around, Bora's still there standing there watching. Bora is turned around by Sion, and Sion is like, come with me. And then they walk out together. Then they walk outside, and they stop. And he's like, I like you. Actually, let me reenact it for you. Sion walks out, and he's like, takes Bora's hand, and he goes like this. I like you, Bora. I like you so much. And he said something like that, or whatever he said, I don't remember. And then after that, Bora's like, okay, why do you have to do all of that? You could have just told me. And he said, well, in your book, you said you wanted like a kdrama kind of, confession. And she's like was the word you focused on. Like, I didn't mean I actually wanted one. And then, yeah, Bora and Sia together, and they kiss. This wasn't as good as episode 8 because we were expecting it anyway, but episode 8 one, I didn't expect that one at all. That's why it was so good. And then they get together and they're happy ever after, and we never have to see this nonsense rubbish face again. Yay! No offense to the actor, like, I got nothing against him, I just mean this character, we don't need to see that face. And then in the end, what we end up seeing is Bora and Sion get engaged. And I don't know, I don't really like that ending. I feel like that was my biggest gripe with the show, with that ending specifically. Like, I was just kind of like, couldn't they just get together and then that would be fine? Because at the end of that, I was just kind of like, like, they could have just been happy. Because on top of that, you don't even know how much time has passed since then. So it's just kind of like, okay, any other ending would have been better than this, but whatever. And yeah, that was the end of the show. So I really I didn't like the ending, and that's why I gave 4 stars, because I was just like, they didn't have to get married, because there was a married couple on the show, and they just made me solidify the fact that I don't want to get married. Because I was like, this seems so exhausting. And then they end up getting engaged, and I was just kind of like, okay, whatever, but at least we didn't get a marriage. Yeah. Or maybe they were like, there was too many marriages in this, we can't have another one going on. In fact, in this episode, there was another marriage, actually. And it was Bora's sister getting married. But, and Bora's sister was pregnant, and they're like 21, 22. Oh my, anyway. That was the show. Yay! I was really, really hoping I would have finished this before load shedding, but I didn't know I was filming for like so long. But, what can I do? I'm only human. I don't know if that's how that works, but anyway, yes, so that was the end of the video. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys liked my outfit. I paid a lot of attention to this outfit, I really tried my best. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Oh, nobody, I don't know. Thank you for watching, if anybody's watching. If you're not watching, thank you for editing this video. I mean me, because sometimes I film videos and I never get around to editing them. So if this does see the face of YouTube, well done to me. And that is the end of this video. And